Bruchim Habayim, welcome everyone to another shiur on the Shulchan Aruch or Chaim. We're studying the beginning of the Chot Shabbat, Siman Mishna, and we're up to Seif Bet, and this is in Zayin Amud Bet of the regular Tapei Mishnah Berura, regular prince of Mishnah Berura. Maran writes, Hecha shitnu batchila, im achar kach b'shat chaluka nitrasa ha'enu Yehudi lachlok b'shaveh mutar. We mentioned before that the primary requirement for a shutafut, a partnership between a Jew and a non-Jew, is that when you start the partnership, in the very beginning, from the get-go, you tell him, I do not have any helek, I don't have a part in the business on Shabbat. I don't have a part in any of the business or money made on Shabbat. Keneged that, I will work another day, but no part in Shabbat. And if they set it up like that the Goy is responsible for Shabbat, he owns the business on Shabbat completely, and the Jew corresponding to that has another day, then it will be something that you could do. Says the Shulchan Aruch, now when you did make that condition, when it comes pay time basically, right? Can you say, you know what, this is too complicated. We have to go back with the bookkeeper every Shabbat, see how much we made, every Sunday, see how much we made. It's not so simple. You have to go back and spend hours and hours and hours and a lot of money for the bookkeeping processing. You know what, how about we just do 50-50 on Sunday and on Shabbat? Really, the truth is, all Shabbat is yours. All Sunday is mine. We could sit here, and if you are interested, if you demand that we should sit and cheshbon, we could sit and calculate everything. But if you are okay, I'm okay. Who cares about other people? I'm happy, you're happy. We'll do 50-50. Good. He says good. No problem. That's no problem. You could actually do 50-50 on all 7 days, including Shabbat, including Sunday, because that you're doing only for convenience. In reality, you have zero chelek in Shabbat, and he has zero chelek in the other day, it's called Sunday, that you work alone. And the fact that you guys are doing 50-50 is just because you want to keep things simple and not have to go through the entire bookkeeping process. So that's what the Shulchan Aruch paskins. Rotze lomar she'ala lefi ma shehitnu hen rav o me'at. Really, in truth, based on what Shabbat made, what Sunday made, whether Shabbat was a lot, Sunday was a little, or vice versa, that's what each one of them owns. But if at the time of the division, the guy says, I don't really care. If you want to do an easier way just to make things simple and to keep it straightforward, I'm okay with it, that's okay. Halachically speaking, that's good. We don't say that, this shows in retrospect that he was working for you on Shabbat. No. If he insists right now, this second, that he wants to go through the bookkeeping and keep every penny of Shabbat, he could do that. It's his. But if for comfort level, he is willing to and wants to do 50-50, then that's okay too. This is just like a matana that he's giving him. Is not considered that he's working for him on Shabbat. Now, therefore, even if it's not b'makom hefsed, remember last shiur we had that certain things the Rama allows only b'makom hefsed, because if you don't do it, it's going to be a significant loss of money. Here, it's not even significant loss. Not so. Even if you're doing it just l'chatchila to make life easier for yourself, that's mutar also. Even if you're not losing a lot of money, you could say, are you down for doing 50-50? He says yes. That will be fine. But what's important, again, we're emphasizing this numerous times, what's important is, in the time that the shutafut happened, when they started the business partnership, they made it very clear that the Jew has zero portion and partnership on Shabbat. It's not you deal with Shabbat. I'm not responsible for Shabbat. If you lose something on Shabbat, I will have no part in that loss if I don't want to. last minute I could change my mind because Shabbat is yours and Sunday is mine. I'm completely, responsible. If you built this structure of the business like that from the beginning, then what happens afterwards is less significant, because if they comes to pay time and both of them say, it's too much of a headache to go through every Shabbat and every Sunday, see how much we made exactly, just do 50. It's fine. No, it's a comfort level. You're basically saying, if I made more, I'll give you matana. If you made more, you give me a matana. Halas. Like that is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's our Seif bit. Seif Gimel, Maran Hecha Shelo Hitnu B'tchila. What if you made a mistake? In the beginning, you did not make this tenai. This very important condition that we just mentioned, you didn't make. And then you started your partnership, right? Mr. X and Mr. Y, a Jew and a Gentile, they made a partnership without any conditions. It sounds like everything is 50-50, and they start working. Can you fix it now? Now they come to Daf HaYomi Ba'alacha, they're like, oy vavoy, what do we do now? Says Marash Charuch, yesh tikun al yedeh she'achazir ha'mocher lahem demei ha'karka או ימכרו לאיש אחר ויחזרו ויקנו בשותפות ויתנו בשעת הקניין. What they could do is they have to reverse the sale. So you bought this store or whatever it is that you did for your shutafut, you return it and you buy it again, right? You return it, יחזיר המוכר להם דמי הקרקע, you return the money to them, the seller returns the money to them, or they could sell it to someone else and then buy it back from him, right? And then in the second buy, when they are now redoing the purchase, right there and then they make a tenai, say, we are buying this in partnership, but the partnership is as such that I have zero chelek in Shabbat and you have zero chelek in the other one, and that would be our partnership. Now, in other words, you can't just say, oh, we made a mistake, no problem. From now on, it's going to be Shabbat, and you can't do that. Because it's like, imagine to yourself a document, right? If you have a document signed that your structure of business is in a certain way, you can't just say, well, we messed up, from now on, between me and you, it's going to be like, it doesn't work like that. Your business set up in the articles of incorporation is this way. So in the reality has been created, you can't just talk your way out of it with just a speech. You have to actually fix the structure of the business, in which way, in this case, would be you return the money, you return the land, so you get the money back. It's okay, we are purchasing from new, right? And this is how we are starting our partnership together, and that would work. You could redo it, basically. If they partnered in a store and they did not make the condition at all, what they should do is each one should get their chelek until now. Shabbat will be until now only the goys, and the rest of the 6 days will be divided 50-50. And then you could say, fine, we dissolved our business partnership. Now we are doing a new business partnership, a completely brand new business partnership, and this is how it's going to be. So that's another way of doing it, right? And then you go back, you make a new partnership with this condition mentioned explicitly in the beginning when you start the business partnership. And if they accepted a land to do job on the land in partnership, same thing. You nullify the shutfut that you had. You say, okay, I'm mochel you if I owe you some money, you mochel me if you owe me some money. We're even. Okay, no partnership, no hurt feelings, no taking you to court, no nothing. right? 0. Okay, fine. So now we're starting a new partnership from beginning. And that's going to be with a Tanai. So that's the Shulchan Aruch. The Rama adds to this, if you want to rent out your chelek to the goy on Shabbat, or even you want to not have a day paid, but you want to make a contract with the goy and tell him, look, you do this job, when you finish the job, you get X amount of dollars. Says the Rama, Shari, that's mutar. You already have covered this in the previous Siman. For a person that bought the zchut of having the taxes of the king. In other words, imagine Reuben bought the rights to charge taxes, right? The king charges 10% taxes. So instead of the king having to have a whole system going and collecting, outsource it to sell it to someone and say, okay, you give me $2 million and you go collect the tax. But if you collect all the taxes, you will probably end up with $2.5 million. So it's kedai for you to do it, and it's kedai for me to do it because I don't want to deal with anything. I just want ready cash, in the treasury of the king, 2 million, and you're good to go. So now the Jew has the next 12 months to do this. It's going to expire. So we spoke about this before, that because it's a hefsed merubah, Chazal were not specific about this, and they let it go, that he could actually do bekibolet, give the Shabbat rights of the Shabbat, sell that to a goy, and say whatever you collect on Shabbat, you get, let's say, X amount of percentages. So the goy this way is doing for himself when he's going to collect the taxes, or they could sell the right of Shabbat. Say, look, I paid $2 million for this, right? Divided by 7, that would be, let's say, 300,000, whatever it is that you'll see, 2.1 would be that, and the Shabbat will be like, whatever it is, people are more home, it's probably more profitable, and so on and so forth. Therefore, I'm going to sell to you the rights of taxes on Shabbat for $300,000. And he pays him, and then the goy goes off collecting, and that's also fine, as we said in Siman Resh Mem Dalet. So certainly over here would be mutar with the partnership of Inu Yehudi. Now we have not discussed, we just read and explained the basic Shulchan Aruch. There's a lot to be talked about in the Mishna Berura part of this, and especially this Fardi Acharonim. There's what to be said about what the Ben Ish Chai and Kaf HaChaim and Chacham Obadia hold. So we'll Bezat Hashem continue that part of it in the next Shiurim Mitzvah Hashem. Baruch Hanoten Chaim. Kol Tuv.